Hey guys, what's up? It's me here, November, and welcome back to Exposing LHH channel, or Lower Heights Hospital. This video, I'm going to rank the worst mental hospitals I've been to, and then the best. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. If you also don't want to know what mental hospitals are like and what the day-to-day is, I will be talking about that. So, let's go ahead and start off with a trigger warning for emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse, and then this video is NSFW. Okay. So, I made a list on my phone. I'm going to start with worst and then rank to the best. And the worst doesn't even surprise anyone, I'm sure, is Lower Heights Hospital. I'm not even going to address that because I have 3 whole videos about it, plus another video I did about revisiting the trauma 8 years later. So you can go watch those. But then the bad is Riverwoods. And let me explain what Riverwoods is like. Riverwoods, besides Lower Heights, is the only hospital that I know of in Atlanta. I live in the Atlanta area. That separate females and males. So there's one female unit and one male unit. It's just one long hallway, a really, really tiny day room with doctors who are overworked and underpaid, I'm sure, and nurse practitioners and stuff like that. And there's like 30 of us in there, and the room only has like 12 chairs, and there's like 30 of us in there, so people are sleeping on the floor and stuff like that. The room's really small. Then you have the rooms. You have 2-hour reflection at 3 to 5 where you have to stay in your rooms. Most people nap. That's why I did. If you do not come out of bed, they will physically force you, because I didn't come out of bed once thinking they'd just let me sleep. No, they will physically pull you out of bed. So what Riverwoods is like is you get in there, you spend some time in the admissions office, not that long, like 30 minutes, compared to Summit Ridge where we spend like 4 to 6 hours. So you spend like 30 minutes in the admissions office, you get back to the unit, and you have to go in this big room, and then the doctor sees you once a day, for literally like 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. I was on line of sight when I was there. I've been there once. I should also mention I've only been there once. I was on line of sight when I was there, so I had to sleep out in the hallway. But the day room is a lot smaller than Summit Ridge's day room. You can't go to your rooms. Oh, never mind. You can't go to your rooms. No wonder. I was missing one. Hold on. Okay, there we go. No wonder I was missing one. Okay. So, you go to your rooms. You sleep. There's like 3 people in a room. The room's really small. There's not many groups. You do leave the unit to go to the gym sometimes and to go to the cafeteria. Food is so-so. Could be better. Could be worse. But yeah, that is Riverwoods. So that is not very good. The lady, I think her name's Eva, the social worker lady, was really rude to me and rude to this other girl who was experiencing domestic violence. I met some friends in there that I still keep in. One of them I kind of lost track. I met a good friend in there that I worked for, actually, that I lost track of her. But it's just not a good hospital. The doctors aren't very good. My doctor was just okay. He was just, like, quick in and out. Didn't really talk to me. So that's that. Okay is Ridgeview Monroe and Summit Ridge. So let me talk about Summit Ridge first, because I have a lot to talk about Summit Ridge, and then I'll address Ridgeview Monroe. Summit Ridge was actually the first psychiatric hospital I went to when I was 14. I first went to the PHP program, and that's the only hospital I've done PHP at. So I went to the PHP program, and honestly, it was nice. Like, the lady, her name was Lee. She was really nice. There was only like 5 or 6 of us. Good counseling, good counseling, good groups, stuff like that. My psychiatrist, Dr. Thompson, was phenomenal, awesome doctor. Probably one of like the top 3 doctors I've had. Great doctor. She wasn't stern, but she was very to the point and matter of fact. And she was also, she diagnosed me correctly. But yeah, so I was, at Summit Ridge, and then I went from PHP. That Friday, I wrote a suicide note, and then they admitted me to inpatient from PHP, so I just stayed at the hospital, basically. And, inpatient, I met some good friends there. There was a guy named Milton. He was a jerk. Do not recommend him. He would say, like, I remember every face, if you self-harm, think of the scars 20 years later when you're getting married or finding a job or whatever. He wasn't very good, but then there was this staff named Tara who was good. The night staff were better than the day staff. The bad thing was, so Summit Ridge, you'd sit in like one room all day, and then you'd go off the unit. Like the adolescent unit was set up weird. It's like they had the day unit in one part of the hospital, and the night unit was all the way in another part. You saw the doctor. Dr. Thompson was very thorough. You saw the social worker who was decent. One was named Tamika, I think her name was. She wasn't very good. I didn't really like her that much. But I was there 3 times in 2014 before I went to Laurel Heights, before I went to Lakeview and Laurel Heights. It's decent. But why I'm not ranking it as good is because even though the groups were helpful when I was younger and as an adult, I've been there like 10 to 15 times, I think. I don't know. Probably more around 10. Then it kind of declined as I got older. When I was 17, it wasn't as good. They showed us the movie Split in there, which I was like, why would you show a movie about a mental disorder that is perpetrating stigma, So, hold on. I'm going to make another video about my diagnosis because I don't have that. So if you want to see what my diagnosis is, you need to watch the next video. I don't know why I'm sorry. It seems like so clickbaity, but you need to watch the next video. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why that's so funny. I've done plenty of other videos about it. Where was I? I was talking about Summit Ridge. It went downhill. And then the staff was so. I was there on my 17th birthday on not gown restriction. It's in a paper gown, pure restriction because I was severely suicidal, and unit restriction, and line of sight on my 17th birthday. That was not fun. And when I told him, I was like, it's my 17th. I sat like late at night, like at 6 o'clock. I'm like, it's my 17th birthday. I'm hearing all these restrictions. And the lady Kay, she's like, it's your birthday. We could have had a cake made for you. I was like, okay. No, anyways, then as an adult, okay, so the adult unit is different. The adult unit is 2 hallways, 1 male, 1 female, and you can't go to your rooms at night. So anyways, 1 male, 1 female. And then but they have 2 adult units. They have the acute and then what they call the PCU, personal care unit, and then they have geriatrics. The PCU unit is for patients that have less severe symptoms, and since I'm psycho, I don't know, they always put me on the acute unit. And they did let me, what the weird thing is, they have an acute unit and you sleep on the acute unit, but half the acute unit programs are what they call intermediate, which is the same as PCU. PCU is a whole new unit. It's like across from the hospital. It's like all the way on the other side. And I've heard it's really nice, but, okay, so the adult unit, you can sleep on the adult and then program an intermediate where you leave to another part of the hospital where your group room is. But if you're on acute, you don't go off for rec therapy, or, you do go down for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and smoke breaks. But you don't go to the rec therapy and you don't go off the unit for groups. You're in this room with like 30 other people that a lot of them are experiencing severe mental illness, and you're just basically stuck there. And you can't go outside. We went outside like twice, as with the acute unit. It's just not good. Some of the staff are just jerks. I don't remember many of the names, to be honest. Just a bunch of men, a lot of men staff and male staff for some reason, but not many females. There's this one staff, her name was Ruth. She was horrible. She wouldn't even let us sleep, like put her head down like this on the chair. Like she would yell at us and wake us up. Can't go to your room at night, You're stuck in this room that smells with all these people, and the groups, they don't do any groups. The only group you have is recreational therapy and social work group. That's it. My doctor, I have a doctor story about Summit Ridge, but before that, my doctor, who was my doctor? My doctor was kind of an idiot. Anyways, okay, so back to Summit Ridge. When I was 14. I don't know why I said 12. When I was 14, I had a doctor named Dr. Meddy, who's actually the medical director at Summit Ridge. He was horrible. First of all, little comedic relief. He would put his hands behind his head, cross his legs, and lean all the way back on one of those, like, we have ones that look like this in our apartment. It's like one of those chairs with like 2 legs, I don't know, it's like a doctor's office chair. And he would like lean back in the chair, lean all the way back, look up at the ceiling and go, "Are you suicidal? Are you homicidal?" And that's like the only two questions he'd ask. Like, he wouldn't even, like, he was just horrible. And he told me my family was leaving me, and Dr. Thompson had to come intervene and say, "No, November, that's not true. Dr. Meddy misspoke." Anyways, he got me all riled up for nothing. Not a good doctor. And I was also on 1-to-1 at Summit Ridge, not when I was an adult, but when I was 14, and staff were actually pretty nice that did my 1-to-1, so yeah. Okay, so next hospital, that's another video, is Lakeview, and that is, I'm going to rate it good, and they have gone up in quality, because when I was in 2014, when I was there before I got to Lower Heights, they were horrible. I was on 1-to-1 for a week and a half, and this lady named Jackie was horrible, completely rude, out of line, was horrible. Another lady, I think her name was Martha, was also really bad. I had to be put in restraints, which was not fun, I think twice. I can do a whole nother video about 1-to-1 restraints. If you guys, I don't really know what I'd really talk about, but it's not fun at all. I was on 1-to-1 for suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. I kept trying to kill myself. I was not having a good time. I did not like it at all. But the funny thing is, I went back to Lakeview when I was an adult, and the good thing about Lakeview is you can sleep in your rooms all day if you need to. And your rooms are, I've heard that's not the case anymore, and I haven't been in a couple of years, but it was the case back then, where you can sleep in your rooms. But I don't remember if the adolescent unit was like that. But it's clean, very clean. Ridgeview, Riverwoods and Summit Ridge are not very clean. Lower Heights Hospital is the worst. Lakeview is very clean. It's new. I think it opened in like 2012 or 13, or maybe even 2014. I'm not sure. Really new hospital, really clean. The food is not very good. I will say that. Summit Ridge food is pretty good. I will say that. But Lakeview's food isn't very good. I know you're not there for the food, but it is a factor. They do let you sleep. The groups were really helpful when I went there as an adult, and they did a lot of, like, instead of techs leading the group, it was the social workers leading the group. But, I forgot to talk about Ridgeview Monroe. Okay, hold on. So, Ridgeview Monroe is okay. I did not address them. So, let me finish Lakeview, and then I'll go back to Ridgeview Monroe. So, I don't even remember if I addressed them or not. But I know I did. Riverwoods. I didn't do Ridge. Okay, sorry guys. So Lakeview, and also Ridgeview Monroe, the social workers lead the group, so they're pretty helpful. So back to Ridgeview. On Ridgeview Monroe, I haven't been to the one in Smyrna, but Monroe, I was on the severe acute unit. And the funny thing is, Lakeview, even though I was pretty out there, I wasn't on the acute unit either. I think I went there 3 times. I wasn't on the acute unit, at all at Lakeview. So, anyways. Ridgeview Monroe, food is horrible, really not good. Groups are pretty helpful, but I was on the acute unit, and again, it was like one long hallway and then this big open room, right? So it was one long hallway with 2 doors, like, not 2 doors, but I just slept in the geriatrics because there was overflow, and we did not leave the unit for meals, but we did leave the unit for rec therapy and other therapy. We'd go to therapy rooms. It was okay. Some of the staff were rude, and my stuff got stolen, and they didn't do anything about it. Like, my clothes, my tops got stolen, but whatever. I'm really not kind of, like, anal about that kind of stuff for some reason, just because, I don't know, I'm not really, like, attached to stuff, so I didn't really care that much, but it was a little upsetting. Okay, so great is going to be East Side. East Side is a hospital outside of Atlanta. It's a little far from my house. It's in Snellville, Georgia. They have a psychiatric unit. You guys, this unit is top notch. It's clean. They have good staff. They got a good schedule. They have good groups. The food's decent. It's very clean. I was in the regular unit, and then I was in the severe unit where they had like 10 patients, and it was the nurses, techs, everything were top notch. Really good. The only bad complaint I have about East Side is they sent me to a crappy group home run by this lady named Stacy Wynn. I will not go to again. I think she shut it down, but because she like violated stuff. I don't know. Last time I heard, she shut it down. But East Side, top tier. Then the other top tier is one that I go to now through my therapy clinic that I will not name because it's just where my therapy clinic goes, and I do live somewhat close to it, but his top tier is a public hospital like Georgia Regional, which I've never been to Georgia Regional. Thank God. Hopefully I never will go. But you can sleep all day, even though the PA pulled me out and put me on line of sight because I was sleeping all day. But you can sleep all day. At Eastside, it varies. On the less severe unit, you can't have access to your room except certain times. On the more severe unit, it's open all the way. So this hospital is very good. They have really good groups. They're DBT. The only thing I complain is they run the same groups every week. For the past 2 years, they've run the same groups every week because I've been there like 5 or 6 times, and it's like the same group. So they do need to change it up a little bit. They don't have rec therapy, and they don't have recreational therapy, and then the food is just so, you guys. It's not very good. I barely eat when I'm there because it's just gross. It's not good at all, to be honest with you guys. Okay, so that's all the ones I'm going to do. I'm going to do a diagnosis video talking about all my diagnoses from the start to where I am now. So this will be the 3rd video I do on this channel. So, oh, I also have support. Okay, so if you've been abused at Lower Heights Hospital or any other hospital, which I'm working on making another Facebook page for abuse of any hospital, not just Lower Heights Hospital. Right now it's just Lower Heights. I have my linktree, which is linktr.ee/exposinglhh. My Instagram is exposinglhh. My TikToks, you had me at Howled on Island of Psychosis. I will link everything in the description, you guys. I also have a main channel called November Williamson where I post more videos that are less mental health and more about me, even though there are some mental health videos. So go check them out. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.